G'day guys, Peter from Team Low Range 4x4 here, and this is a subscribers requested video. Yes, that's right. If you guys have a video suggestion for me, please jump on board by subscribing. Yes, giving this video a like, and of course then diving in to the comment section and letting us know what you'd like to see. All right, I'm going to give you a bit of a heads up. This video is in two sections. The first section is why I decided to buy the Hilux in the first place. And then of course after that I'm going to be doing the overview and what modifications I've done. Now if you're a time poor person, technically like myself, this is the time code to check out. Please dive in and skip ahead if you have to. Of course, I would suggest watching the whole video because I would find it interesting. I find it interesting. Of course, I find it interesting. All right, let's dive into it now. Oh, okay. So the story starts with 2015. 2015 is a very interesting year. The reason why it's an interesting year is because that is the year that the N70 was due to be replaced with the new N80, let's just call it. And what's even more interesting about that is the fact that I bought this at the end of 2015. So the model was only about a week or two away from dropping. Now, let me let you on a little secret that the dealer didn't hide it from me that they were actually releasing a new model. They made it perfectly clear that the specs were going to be better on the N80 and I would have the option of purchasing that over this if I was prepared to wait a little bit longer. Except for they didn't tell me about two things. One, they couldn't guarantee that I was going to get any sort of discount on the price. And two, there was no reassurance of what the actual equipment that it was going to be coming with standard because they apparently didn't know themselves. So all they could tell me is that it would tow better, had a bit more power and was more refined, whatever that means. So I was left with a choice, the old one or the new one. Now there are really only two things really to consider here when purchasing a four-wheel drive, and it all comes down to exactly what you're going to use it for. Now for me, as you know, I want to go out in the bush and I want to tour and I want to do all those different things. Now, of course the new model is going to do that. It's a Toyota. It's designed to do it, isn't it? So that shouldn't be even a question. But how long are you going to do it for? Are you going to do it for 5 years and then trade it in? Are you going to keep it forever? You know, there's these things to consider. What's the reliability on an unproven design? Yes, we're getting there. We're getting warmer. We're getting to the question at hand. Reliability and longevity. They're questions that can only be answered by ownership over time. You know, they can do all the testing under the sun, and they do try to wipe it out, but you'll see it time and time and time again. You'll see recall here, a recall there, or this is swept under the carpet and that's swept under the carpet. It's just, you know, that's something I wanted to avoid. So basically in a nutshell, the reason I chose the N70 is I had the support, I had the discount that I could use then to reinvest in the vehicle, and of course it had a proven track record of 10 years of being beat up, used and abused, and of course there you go. You had a big swelling argument towards the then and present and yeah versus the complete abyss, the unknown, the yet to be the legend of the future. And therefore I decided, because of those reasons, I was going to jump into the N70. Okay, I hope you enjoyed section 1 about the story of the Hilux and why I chose it. Now we're going to move on to section 2, the actual walk around and the modifications I've made to the Hilux. Let's have a look at it now. Right guys, I've decided to pause there for a second because in the editing I've realised I've forgotten to mention a couple of things. And one thing I forgot to mention, which is meant to be coming up anyway, is I actually don't have any lockers in my Hilux. No. I would desperately love to have a rear locker, at least a rear locker that is, but I don't. And I'm mentioning it because as you scroll through our back catalogue of videos, you'll probably think, oh yeah, you know, he probably has a locker, you know, he's got all the other stuff so far, so yeah, that makes life easier when you got it. But no, I don't have a locker. Another thing I wanted to mention is that the modifications I've done to my Hilux, I don't actually give you a reason why I've chosen those particular ones. But at the end of the day, really it is because I want to avert as much damage as possible. I'm a firm believer that modifications don't really necessarily make your four-wheel drive more capable. It's more about limiting the damage. For example, I'm about to talk about my ARB Deluxe bar. And the main reason I got it is to basically give myself a bit more clearance for the wheels, because I basically ripped the front bar off my Hilux when I did Monkey Gum the first time. So there's an example right there of why I made that modification. So let's get back into the video and have a look at what I've actually done to my Hilux. We just got to take a step back for a second and have an overview of the Hilux before we dive into each individual part. Alright, I'm going to group all my modifications into what I like to call the Essentials package. Yes, the Essentials package. So that's basically the minimum amount of modifications you can do to your four-wheel drive to limit damage as well as open up the hidden latent potential of your four-wheel drive when you're going off-road. Now let's dive into the front of the vehicle. So here I've gone for the ARB Deluxe bar. Two reasons why. Well, three actually. First, it looks good. Second, it gives and opens up the access to the front wheels for bigger obstacles. And of course, it also has all the mounting points and everything like that for your lights, winch box, and of course CB radio. Now let's move on to the CB radio. Here I've gone for the TX 3350 GME all-in-one handset. Yes, I think this is a fantastic CB radio because not only does it have the speaker built into it, it has all the buttons on the front, it's clear to see, and of course it's all one-hand functionality, which is perfect for when you're going down the trail. Let's go back outside and have a look at what lift I'm running. I've gone for the Old Man Emu 2-inch lift with a constant load of 400 kilos. Now, it's been working quite well. I don't actually run a constant load of 400 kilos, obviously, but it gives me that freedom that once I've got more than 400 kilos in there, I've still got quite a little bit of lift in the back there. King's Dominator X 7.2 12,000 pound winch. Haven't had to use it personally for a recovery yet, but I've definitely had to help a couple of people out, and I've definitely feel that it's going to be, you know, ready to go at any time. Now, one bonus to this winch, and it's probably standard on most winches now, is that it's also wireless. So not only can you plug in a cable if that fails, but you've got a wireless controller as if you need to use it. Alright, let's move to the underneath of the vehicle where we've got ARB underbody protection. Yes. Now, I would suggest that if you've got a four-wheel drive and you're hitting the tracks, especially through bog holes and stuff that you might not know what's actually in it, underbody protection is a must. King's steel wheels. Steel wheels are still going strong. Second set of tyres on them, and you know, nothing to report. Factory fitted toe assembly. Now I switched this out for a recovery point if I need to, and of course it works fine. I've had to use it once or twice. The raised air intake. Yes, not a snorkel, a raised air intake. A lot of people get confused with that and they call it a snorkel. Some people market them as snorkels, but they're actually just a raised air intake. You can't go scuba diving with this thing. So I've gone for the factory fitted Desno. That's pretty much in a nutshell the modifications I've done. Now, I'm definitely going to be diving in the new year to put some more on, and I will do an update video on any of those modifications.